Hi guys, so hopefully I have this working right and we can go ahead and get this started. My presentation is over house sparrows, also known as Passer domesticus. The house sparrow is one of the most widespread and abundant songbirds in the world that's most associated with humans. It's native to Eurasia and northern Africa, but has also succeeded in urban and farming areas. It was first released in New York in 1851. So it's been here for a hot minute. Their TPRs, their temperature is typically around anywhere from 65 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Their heart rate is anywhere from 250 to 300 beats per minute, and their respiration rate is anywhere from 30 to 60 breaths per minute. When you're restraining these animals, you want to hold them with both hands wrapped around their wings, that way they can't spread their wings in the flight position. You want to hold them close to your chest so that way they can't move and get loose and possibly fall on the floor and hurt themselves. And then you want to use the other hand to cuff underneath their butt so that way they can't fall out of your hands. If the birds get too stressed, you can just place a towel over their head and it calms them down pretty well. Be sure not to apply pressure, as it obviously cuts off circulation, and we don't want that. So, because if they can't get any oxygen, they're not going to live very long. Their diet consists of grains, seeds, whatever foods that we discard that they can get to, and insects for extra protein. The habitat enrichment that they need to thrive, they tend to live in the center of cities where there's a lot of man-made buildings and suburbs and farms. They're usually found in man-made structures, so abandoned houses. It's kind of sort of where they like to go. As for the toys that they play with, they like them to be colorful with multiple different textures. They like a variety of vibrant fruits and vegetables. And they like their nuts to still be in the shells. And you have to make sure that you don't keep them with the same things for too long, as they get bored pretty easily. So just keep a variety of things, What predominant research is done with these birds? These birds were used to because of their adaptations to local climate conditions. Most recently, they've become more focused for studies seeding to reveal psychological underpinnings of success among invasive vertebrates. I couldn't find anything health-wise that was done with these birds, but I was able to find that, which I think is pretty cool. Unique features is that these birds, whenever they feel like they're under stress or it's a life or death situation, they be swimming, okay? They have been seen swimming underwater whenever they become threatened. They're a little chunkier and fuller in the chest with a large round head and a shorter tail and a pretty stout bill, which is why in the first couple pictures you saw the bird, it had kind of a shorter, fatter beak, because their bill is more stout than most American sparrows. How do we sex the avian species? Typically, males are brighter colors with gray round heads and more stout bills. The females are honestly kind of dull colors. They're not very pretty, with gray underparts, and their backs are striped with black, brown, and a buffy brown color. So, personally, I think the males are a little prettier, and I have a picture of a male later on in the PowerPoint. So you can kind of sort of see the difference. They live anywhere from 3 to 5 years. The longest sparrow was lived up to 13 years, although most don't make it past 5. And I just put that in there. I thought that was pretty freaking cool. So there's that. The biological research journal that I found was regarding house sparrows, about whether or not the urban environment is more stressful than a rural environment, and if the house sparrows developed desensitized stress responses. So they exposed wild-caught urban and rural house sparrows in a combined captivity with the diet treatments. They were fed urban diets versus rural diets, and measured the corticosterone levels, which is their stress levels, and the natural tail feathers and the regrown ones. So the outcome of this was that the urban and rural house sparrows showed similar stress levels, proving that the urban environment was no more stressful to the birds than the rural environment would have been. I think that was mostly because they developed desensitized stress responses, and so it didn't matter what kind of environment they were in. They just neither one of them got stressed out more than the other. Vet medicine has improved since the use of the avian species because birds get better vet care now that we know how to keep them enriched, what to feed them, as well as what kind of diseases, parasites, and health issues to look for that are frequent in the avian species. Like, there aren't many vets that see birds, reptiles, exotics, but the ones that do have better knowledge over what to look for. So I feel like, it's quality versus quantity sometimes, and I feel like quality is definitely way more important than quantity. And these are my sources. Thank you.